I'm going fish, 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 fishing. I'm going fishing, hook, sinker, and line. I said fish, fish, fish.
Hey folks, welcome to the first ever premiere of Motown Outdoors. We're your hosts.
I'm Riley Irons from Morris, Minnesota here.
I'm Matt Hewitt here. We got a pretty good show planned for you today. We got a lot to talk about. We got a pretty big trip coming up tomorrow, heading up to Tenmile Lake. Pretty good lake, actually. There's a pretty strict limit on bass. I'm pretty sure everything's catch and release, so it's pretty heavily populated lake, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know, what do you think is going to play out tomorrow with this weather situation we got going on?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of, you got bull rush, you got lily pads. I mean, I think if you can, you can pitch a spinner bait, edge of the reeds, you can throw a frog over the top of lily pads. I mean, it's really going to depend on weather a little bit.
Yeah, with this weather situation we got coming in, we actually had a pretty big cold front move through. It's been really hot, in the lower mid-90s we got going for these past 2 days, and it cooled off big time tonight. And, we got a little bit of a rainstorm coming in. It's going to be tough fishing with it. It's supposed to, be low 80s, high 70s tomorrow, so it's going to be a little tough to fish. One of the good resources we have to get that fishing information that's pretty new is that Motown Outdoors website. Riley, you want to elaborate a little bit more on Motown Outdoors?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good website. I mean, just started up yesterday. We're still kind of in the process of making the website and all, but overall, I mean, it's a good site. We got field staff. We got myself, Riley, and Matt.
Yeah,
we got my dad, Scott Arndt. He's HR Superior Industries, so you need a job, you call him. He's fished Big Stone Lake for, the past 15 years, 25 years. So he's a four-time Schmitz Landing league champ there. I mean, he knows the lake real well. I mean, he's won MWC, MTT, 1999, 1998 out there. So, he knows what he's doing. I mean, he's good. He's got a good fishing background out there on Big Stone Lake over by Ortonville, Minnesota. So, also we got Artie Arndt. He's done some guiding service in the past. He owns a printing screening company. So you guys need shirts, hats. He makes it all. So check out the website, all the phone numbers, website, email address,
it's all right
so
there. So
check it out.
And now getting back to this 10-mile lake situation, it's a pretty good lake to fish, I think, with the structure we're going to have, but it's also going to be a pretty high winds tomorrow, I think, too. So it should be a pretty interesting day, I think, but really not too sure about that wind. How do you think the fish are going to play out, being the season that we're in, being it's not quite that fall feeding yet. They don't have the feed bags on just yet, and it's also, it's been hot, but this cold front's going to really thin out the fish bites. So how do you think the fish are really going to react to the lures we're going to try tomorrow?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've heard of, people catching fish after cold front, but, being that, it's not into that fall feed yet, but, sometimes I've always heard, fish fall like you fish the spring. I mean, go top water towards the evening, maybe work out to that deeper 8-9 feet of water, maybe you could throw a plug over the top of the reeds, I mean, you just got to play out with the structure a little bit, but, it's just going to be tough. I mean, the bay we're going to be fishing in, the wind's blowing into the bay, so, hopefully it'll push some of those shad or any other bait fish in there that'll bring the largemouth, hopefully following close behind, so.
Yeah, that should be pretty good. We're going to have to try some of those shad imitation lures and try and really get those fish to bite. So we'll have a pretty action-packed day for you tomorrow, I think, and I guess we'll get back to you with how the day's going to go tomorrow. Thanks for stopping in to Motown Outdoors.
Howdy folks! Not too bad of a day out here on good old 10-mile lake. First bass of the day right there, nice little 2-3 pounder. Looks like we're throwing a little, myself I should say, I'm throwing a little Shadowlicious here, a little weighted hook. You can set the weight, you put the weight lower, it's gonna dive deeper, and then you put that weight higher, it's gonna be more to the surface. So I got it about, I don't know, probably 6 inches below the bottom, so not too bad of a start here on 10 Mile Lake.
It's been tough. It's this wind condition is really tough. Come on, stay down. It's been the wind's really had. Yeah, he's out, but it's been tough. This big old smallie we got here. God, these things fight too. But you know, we really had to combat the conditions here. Really just trying to mix it up. We're just trying to get a pattern down. But this is a hog of a smallmouth, and he really light bite. You know, I felt him hit it, but no, this is a nice dandy smallie here. But you know, the key thing we've been trying to do in this time we got that we've had to fish, with the time that the wind's been cooperating with us, is just really develop a pattern down. But god dang, this is a nice smallmouth. Come on, stay down, stay down. Right, you want to grab the net? So I can get it?
It's under the seat.
Yeah, you want to, well, I might be able to pick this guy up.
You can get him with your hand, you can get him. That's a nice smallie.
That's a nice smallmouth there. So, well, we've just been really just trying to figure out what's working. This is actually my first cast I had on this lure, and this smallmouth just came up and smacked it. This is a pretty solid smallmouth we got here, but 10 Mile Lake, mid-August, windy day, but it's been dying down for us, and so we're gonna see what we can do after we get this guy. Yep.
Shadowlicious, baby. Every time. Ooh, yeah, he's not as big as we thought, but he's a nice fish. Oh, come here, girl. All right. Well, we started off decently strong here in the afternoon. Maddie caught what was it, 16, 17 smallmouth? Yeah, he did. And then I popped that one smaller largemouth at the beginning, but you know, it started to pick up again here towards dark. You know, the fish starting to feed a little bit. So, you know, nice bass there. I mean, we can get him on the scale quick. Got the scale.
See, the key on a lake like this, where you got these smallmouth and these bulrushes, what they're doing is these smallmouth are coming up and they're hitting these crayfish when they're just ambushing them in these weeds like this. So what you really got to do is when you're getting a bite like that, you got to, if they're on right away, set the hook, but you almost have to finesse them a little bit like a walleye almost. And they're coming up and hitting that. If he's not there the second time you're trying to set that hook, just leave it in the water, because what they're doing is they're trying to save metabolism. When they're coming up, they're just going to hit it. They're just going to nudge it. They're just going to try and stun that crayfish where they can sink back a little bit and they can watch that thing, where if it starts swimming away, obviously they'll come up and hit it. So the key thing is if that fish hits it and it's not there, don't reel in and try and make a second cast to him. Just let it sit there for a little bit and then twitch it, and if he's there, let him have it. Yeah, you know, we got them nice fish, but now it's really starting to pick up here. We're starting to speed up a little bit. I'm still in the Texas rig. I got a nice fish right here, looking like a smallmouth actually. He's fighting like one. Yeah, it's another nice smallmouth. But you know, it's been these two lures have really been helping us out actually quite a bit. You know, we kind of started getting a pattern going. We found a couple different spots. They're really trying to key in on these small weed patches where the wind's been actually pretty shy. This is a nice smallmouth we got ourselves here. We can stay on here. We got hooked sideways there on the belly, but again, another nice 10 Mile Lake.
Aren't Hewitt Guiding Service, folks. That's all I can say. This 10 Mile Lake has just been good to us tonight. Another quality largemouth right there. It doesn't get much better than this. Just you know, sun's just below the trees now. I mean, we're getting some nighttime bite. The feed's hitting, so you can't ask for a better day to fish. Just the wind died down. There's almost no wind, just a little breeze. You know, you couldn't ask for anything better. It's just, you can't complain.
There we go. Yep, still on 10 Mile here. It's been a pretty good night. If you can see around here, it is just glass out. It got to be a really nice night. Not a real big fish, but it's a nice topwater fish. We got late at night here, so we decided we'd actually switch down to topwater, being it's so calm fishing these weeds. But this is a smaller fish, but it's still, I mean, any fish on that topwater lure is pretty fun, I guess. But you know, just being able to switch to that topwater bite and get some fish in the boat, it'll be pretty nice to call it a pretty good day. Another nice smallmouth here. I don't like sticking my hand down with those treble hooks. Come on, big guy. Pretty nice smallmouth. God, them things got some color on them and they fight hard too. But another good 10-mile lake fish thanks to Hewitt, Arndt Guide Service. Yeah, it's been a really good night so far. We're catching a lot of fish out here. It's been really nice. Hewitt Arndt Guide Service has been really good. You know, I think the biggest thing we really got to work on is our fib percentage. Fib percentage is fish in the boat percentage. We're really struggling with that this year. We're losing a lot of fish. You know, I guess there's stuff like that you just got to learn with. I think it takes a little time, but you know, we've had a couple big fish on. You know, we've had some snapped lines and just some other stuff that really you got to capitalize on that kind of stuff. I mean, you don't get a bite every single cast, so when that bite does hit, you really got to make the most of it. Really just do what you can to get that fish in the boat, because you can't win tournaments by just catching them and having them get off every time. So it's really, you really got to work it a little bit better to really get those fish in the water, I think. The reason that we look for that is what the fish are doing is they're called busted shad, where the fish are actually, the shad only have one way to escape, and that's up. You know, the largemouth can pretty much chase them down pretty good. So what the shad are doing is they're jumping up. So what they're doing is it's called busted shad. The largemouth are actually chasing these shiners to the point where they're jumping out of the water. So what we're really keying in on is either watching those bass that are jumping the shad come up to the surface, or you're just looking for those just a small, you know, 3-4 shad that are just busting up the surface. So they're trying to escape from the bass. So you know there's a feeding bass there that's looking for a meal. So you're really going to want to try to key in on those spots just to up the chance of you getting a fish. Again, this topwater lure on this 10-mile lake, we'll just lift him up here. I mean, this lake is not only a quantity lake, but it's also a quality lake. I mean, this is one of the smaller end largemouths we caught today. I mean, there's just a ton of fish in this lake, and not only is there a ton of fish, there's a ton of good fish as well.
Come on, Sally. Give her one more shot at her.
There he is, folks.
There we go. Come on, girl. That's a nice fish.
This is fucking great footage.
That's a nice fish. Oh, Lord. Lord, no. Oh. Fib percentage, folks. Oh. You've got to be kidding me. You got to complete it, folks. You got to bring it home. Thanks for joining us out here on Motown Outdoors, folks. It was a great day. You know, we caught a lot of fish, had a lot of fun. So make sure you join us next week on Motown Outdoors.
Fish, 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 fishing. Boy, I'm going fishing just to ease my mind.